Have you started investing?
No.
Sometimes, yes. I do, yeah.
Every paycheck, I put like a couple thousand into my investment fund.
How much money are you making? A couple thousand. Hey, do you invest your money? Because if you don't, you need to. Hey, welcome to the BG Show. It's Brandon. I know I'm being a little bit extra, but we have another special episode of Building Better with Brandon, powered by TD. Now, before we get into that I word, which is investing, I need you to do a few things, like subscribe to this channel, tap that notification bell, make sure to share this video, and don't forget to comment below. Now I know investing might make some of you a little bit scared, but it is something you need to do. So today we are gonna give you the keys and the tools to make you a good investor. You ready? Let's go. Jermaine joining us on another episode of Building Better with Brandon.
Glad to be back.
Well, listen, the people love you. You're giving them all the good advice.
That's good. And I got a lot of positive feedback from our last segment.
Yeah.
I think it's great that people are tapping into finances, getting excited about it, and thinking about their future wealth.
And that's what we want to continue to talk about. Which brings us right into investing.
Yeah.
So let's get into that I word. What does investing actually mean?
So when you're thinking investing in relation to finances specifically, you're thinking about you taking your capital, using it to purchase assets, whatever that asset might be, but with the intention of having more money in the future than what you initially put in.
I love that. We're thinking about the future, but we're living in the now. So when should you actually start thinking about investing?
You should have thought about it last week, last year,
Damn it.
last month. If you haven't started investing, you start investing right away. So realistically, you need a lot of time for investments to appreciate, for the value to grow. So the sooner you can get in, the better. The way to approach it is if you have a budget, you take care of your expenses, and whatever you set aside for savings, set that money into an investment.
So obviously if you start investing your money, I'm assuming there's a lot of benefits that come with that.
Absolutely. Right now we're facing inflation. You're hearing it everywhere you go. One of the things that you have at your disposal if you start investing is the opportunity for your capital to appreciate over time.
In capital, we're talking money.
You're talking your money. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that amount of money that you've invested, you give it the opportunity to grow over time, right? And so that gives you a chance to actually outpace inflation. So you do need to be aware, of course, of market volatilities. Markets are up and down. Some days it may be up, some days it may be down. But over the long term, you have the best chance of seeing that capital or that money grow, right, and help you to meet those goals.
And this is why you guys like to say, start early.
Precisely. Give yourself enough runway, enough time to actually meet that goal.
What are some mistakes people make?
So I think the primary mistake that people make is they start investing without a plan. So essentially they have no sense of direction, but they're putting money into an investment vehicle. That usually leads to people investing and making emotional decisions as opposed to analytical and strategic ones. It's key for you to start with clarity, know exactly why you're investing. If you have an opportunity, do some research. If you're not great at research, go and talk to a professional. They can help and provide you the guidance, right? So that you're not out there just kind of wandering in the investment world and learning by all these mistakes.
Do you know what type of investments you have or you aim to have?
I also have an RRSP
Okay.
and a TFSA.
All right.
So I try not to touch that very much, but one of them has gone down in the last few years, one's gone up. I'm kind of even right now, honestly, I'd say.
We talk about these two investment vehicles a lot, TFSA, RRSP. How can they help us on our investment journey?
So if you have a TFSA, it's a tax-free savings account. So if you've already been saving money, perfect opportunity for you to put that money into a TFSA and grow that money tax-free. In your RRSP, that's your registered retirement savings plan. So if you're thinking of supplementing your income in retirement, so that you already have a pension, but you still know you might need a little bit more, you can put that in RRSP. If you don't have a pension plan, you need an RRSP. You actually need to have a retirement saving strategy. So both accounts are beneficial in your investment journey in the sense that they allow you to grow your wealth as an investment. In the TFSA, the benefit there though is that the capital, whatever you grow in addition to your initial investment, is absolutely free from tax. In your RRSP, it's a little different. The tax is deferred. So later on, when you are retired and you're ready to take that money out, then you will have to pay some form of tax.
So do I just like put the money into those, like into a TFSA that just starts growing?
Absolutely not. Good question. So a lot of people make that mistake sometimes, just put it into a regular savings and money sitting in cash. You still need to either connect with an investment advisor or like a professional and determine what investment strategy will I use in my account. Or if you're self-directed and you like to do it yourself, you still need to purchase the actual investment. So whether that be a GIC, a stock, an ETF, etc. But you need to take the cash, deposit into the account, and then actually invest it. So that's very important to know.
Okay, so they're both basically like two different highways, but you got to choose a car which on what you're
Where
going
you're gonna drive.
I love that we're talking about the I word, which is investing, but I want to talk about the D word, diversification.
Diversifying simply is you spreading out the types of investment vehicles you use in your actual investment strategy.
And that's a good thing.
So that's actually good.
Okay.
So that's what I said, the D and I word or the I and D word, they go together. So if I'm investing, I want to have different vehicles, and I may have different investment goals as well. Right? Sometimes I have a short-term goal or I have a longer-term goal. So I need to separate what investment products I use, right? And so I may have, it may be a GIC, which is a guaranteed investment certificate, maybe it's a stock, but spreading it out so that all of my investment is not in one type of investment or one type of sector is actually a benefit.
And what does that help do? Like, does that help alleviate like risk or?
Yes, it helps to mitigate, let's say, or to help like minimize the risk as much as is possible. So if you can do that, that can help your investment journey to be a little bit smoother, right? Make you a bit more comfortable in your process.
So speaking of risk, how is risk assessed when looking at your investments?
The risk investment is more related to the probability or the potential for that investment to lose money, right? They usually express it as a percentage. So if I'm low risk, maybe my investment can lose 5 to 10%. If I'm aggressive risk, it might be more of like a 20 to 30% chance of loss of my capital or my initial investment. Now, there's also personal risk tolerance, right? So if you're working with a professional, they'll do what's called a client investor profile, where they ask you a series of questions to determine what is your personal level of risk.
Yeah.
So you might be interested in this really aggressive risk product, but if we actually determine that you're a conservative investor, then we need to revisit your strategy, or you need to now rethink how you approach investing.
Jermaine, you have been dropping gems on us. I can't wait though to speak to Latanya, who's gonna help us understand what tools that you can use with TD to help grow your money. Latanya's in the house. How you doing, my girl? Good to see you.
Same.
Listen, we had such a great conversation with Jermaine talking about the keys to investing. But now I want to get into the toolbox. Can you like help identify some of those for our people?
Okay, so in branch, they do what is called a discovery, and they create what is called a customer investment profile.
Yeah.
And that is dealt with through an advisor asking the client questions. When the information is put in, they collect that demographic information about your income, everything pertaining to you, how much you actually spend as well. Yeah. And then they're able to help support you with I'd say a manageable goal. Outside of that, we also have TD Direct Investing, and this is geared towards people who want to have a more hands-on approach and direct their investments themselves. And we have an online platform that has videos and training material that supports the process of investing for yourself through TD Direct Investing.
I love that you guys have that tool that helps identify your lifestyle and what you need to support to sustain that lifestyle, because some of us are a little bit more bougie and some of us might be a little bit more basic, no judgment. But you just want to make sure you can sustain that all the way through.
Exactly.
So once you get the all clear where you're good to start investing, can you actually do it by yourself? And if so, like, how do you get started doing that?
So it depends on what you're comfortable with, so which is why we have both.
Yeah.
So if it is that you feel confident that you're able to make your own decisions, you know how to watch the market, time things, then you can definitely do this through the TD Direct Investing platform. And we have some support, but they're not going to be supporting your investment decisions. But anything in terms of technical support, there are people in place to support you that way. Regarding the branch network, we do have advisors who can bring you in from time to time to review the portfolio performance and to make suggestions to augment or to change things so that your portfolio continues to be beneficial as it grows.
And there are so many ways to grow those assets, right? Because there are so many different type of investments that you can make. So like, what are some of those investments people can choose to make?
So the typical ones would be like a guaranteed investment certificate called a GIC. Outside of that, we have what are called mutual funds, which is almost like you diversifying your portfolio, but at the same time, you're actually within a particular fund class or category that matches your risk appetite again. Stocks through TD direct investing
Yeah,
is
we
also
love
an
stocks.
option. The younger generation, you, for example, find stocks really, rewarding
Yeah.
and exciting. And that opportunity through the TD direct investing gives you the opportunity to buy both in the US and Canadian market. Outside of investing, in terms of money market, people hold gold bars, silver bars. TD gives you the opportunity to
buy a
those.
piece of, oh.
Yes.
I used to just wear it on my neck.
Oh yeah. Some people have it in their vaults.
Okay, well, that's probably the better way to do it.
Yes.
You
yes,
see, I'm
yes.
learning.
Exactly. And then what's most common we find in especially GTA,
Yeah.
a lot of people are into real estate. So
Yes.
they find that's another asset base that people are looking at, not only for the second income stream, but for the appreciation in the value of the property over time.
I'm glad that you brought up real estate because, I mean, the streets are talking, especially young people in the streets, about the first-time home buyer savings account, right? So I'm wondering, like, what are the benefits of using that in regards to your investment journey?
So the first home savings account actually allows an individual to have a direct strategy for saving towards the purchase of a home. So they're no longer focused on pulling from an RRSP where they're gonna have to repay that money in 15 years. With the first home savings account, you actually get to contribute $8,000 per year maximum, up to a total of $40,000 for the lifetime of that account.
Okay.
The benefits are that the first home savings account is tax-free. So monies that you invest can grow, especially when you invest them in other vehicles, tax-free. But it also has a double benefit where, like the RSP, well, not like the RSP, it's actually better where there's a tax deduction once you put that $8,000 in.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
What I'm gathering from both you and Jermaine is that, you know, whatever type of investment you choose, some of them can be short-term, some of them can be long-term. But like, how do you choose which is right for you?
So it depends on what you are up to.
Okay.
What is your goal? Ideally, if you're talking about short term, you're looking at things that are in the near future, so a year or less. And the reason why you want to go with short term investments really is if you have a short term goal and you don't want to have penalties for taking your money out, you don't want to have issues with liquidity access. You want to go into the financial institution or do transfers online without any issues. For the longer term, then you're looking more at the GICs, the stocks, the mutual funds that are, I'd say, market-based.
Well, I love speaking with you because I also know your mom, right? You got 2 boys. And I know there are a lot of people watching who also are in the same situation, but they haven't started this journey. Maybe it's so, they're scared about it, they're nervous about it. You know, what words of encouragement would you tell anybody watching right now who's still on the fence, who's still feeling nervous about starting their investment journey?
So I'd say you have to develop the courage, but courage comes through information. And having said that, I'd like to talk about our TD Black Customer Experience team that's trained up across Canada, where we're geared towards, adding that elevated knowledge, financial literacy, trusted advice, and accessibility to people who don't typically have access to that kind of information from a wealth manager or even credit professionals. So in my unique position, I'd say that my strategy is to ensure that I'm ahead of the game in terms of thinking ahead for my kids, their future financially. How am I gonna prepare myself for educational costs? And then further to that, how am I gonna help them with a down payment to a home? And then beyond that, when they're adults, I want to get rid of them. So how am I stacking my RRSPs to ensure that I'm comfortable in retirement without having to ask them for money? So that's how I look at it from a personal perspective.
And I love that because it's real. It's real. And for everybody watching, if you want to access the TD Black Customer Experience, of course, we're going to put that information in the description below. Latanya, I love speaking with you.
Same.
Jermaine obviously was amazing. Both of you are like the dynamic duo. So good having you, my friend.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Hey, it's BG, and I want to know, what do you think about what you just watched? Make sure to drop your thoughts in the comments below, but also make sure to check out even more great content like this video and this video over here. And if you haven't subscribed to the Brandon Gona Show, do so right now by clicking this button right here.